Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at the RTS League channel. I welcome you to another Sunday that is going to be having some Age of Mythology tournament play in its program, and it's gonna be the second round of Age of Mythology Titans Hybrid Clan Club, hosted by RTS League and sponsored by AltairAuditore and another community benefactor for quite nice 180 euros for basically the top 4, which is like half of the participants. If you have 8 participants, because that was what we were aiming for the special tournament that we are right now playing on. It's a GSL rather. That's the correct spelling there in the English, that you might be familiar with from StarCraft, and it's basically 4 clans in a division. They are gonna be playing double eliminations in there. This is right now the second round of that double elimination bracket. Both of those teams have lost the first match, so they're right now gonna be fighting for who is gonna be continuing forward and still having a chance how to claim a prize or maybe even a title, and who is going to be, after 2 matches, eliminated from the competition. But yeah, well, so far we have seen quite competent gameplay all around from all the clans, so definitely shouldn't be easy for either side, and I'm definitely looking forward if CISE Elite are gonna be again showing some special home map as they did in the last match. That River Styx, that was certainly quite something. And so far for the lineups today that we are going to be having for CISE Elite, it's gonna be Ahud. The one that actually we don't see is supposed to be Risom, and MyIsisBestGod is gonna be the third one. And for the opponents, for PXX Pandora box, is gonna be AltairAuditore, elninio, aka Zodiac. So that's gonna be probably a bit of an event for many people watching, I'm expecting. That was a bit of a like rare animal to spot, let's say. And Gabo, well, as the clan leader in there, and clan operator is gonna be coming in as well. Right now, that's a whole lot better. It seems like everybody's gonna be prepared, it seems. So the first to choose the home map should be CISE Elite, unless they're gonna be agreeing on a different order here, which kinda is in their power if they want to, because like, why stop that? If they both are amicable to the same thing, and it's something like this, there's not much of a problem with that. The settings for the match are going to be the same as in the first round. For the group stage, they are all the same, best of 3. A home map for each of the clans, and with decider potentially played on random. They can be choosing pretty much all the maps that are available, the same as in the RTS League's Clan League, so basic random all. And we have added a few maps that are known from, for example, Balance Patch, so like Painting Desert, Frozen Wastes, and of course, which you can be knowing from RTS League as well, that is Black Sea, the River Styx that has been mentioned, and for example, also Sea of Worms, the RTS League version. So therefore the one without the fortress, but with the towers. Now, so far the civilizations are probably gonna be changing depending on what kind of map they're gonna be playing. Seems like that we are gonna be heading into Oasis for the Russians, which would be kinda not a bad map. That's quite a standard one, a nice one. With MyIsisBestGod so far as Oranos, I'll be guessing he might want to switch maybe. Though he is a random goddess, so he can be probably playing what he wants and what he needs for the team. As then we are gonna be looking at Ahud with Isis and Risom as Oranos. So Devil Oranos and Isis, that's kinda not a bad matchup and combination for Oasis, and against them it will be elninio aka Zodiac with Set. Not that much of a surprise in there with his god, and AltairAuditore with Poseidon and Gabo as Loki. That is kinda all over the place, but definitely solid gods all around, especially for vanilla. Poseidon is not bad at all. So the chances are certainly there. Quite certainly. So here we go, we are gonna be right now starting into the first game of the match. We are gonna be, of course, right now also muting the music. I was just interested in right now sending the message so that everybody knows that we are gonna be live, as we are already starting with elninio casting the Set's vision. Somewhere goes by on the left, and basically the usage... Yeah, this is the first one. We haven't had that before, but this is exactly what can happen on the original maps here. That's... kinda the part that players like to forget about the original maps. I mean, like, I really did like them because they force players to be playing a whole lot differently. But if you are gonna be seeing this at the very start of the game from the vision, you're not gonna be exactly all too happy. He's gonna be seeing another zebras or other giraffes, which are probably though gonna be supposed to be gabos. You're gonna be waiting what kind of spawn we are gonna be having here, because so far triple zebras out of the point of view for the players, it seems like, at least some of them, and we're gonna be just waiting if we can discover a few more extra giraffes there as well, or if these are really his. And unfortunately this position, is there actually a way through? How did the giraffe get out? Is there a way through? Right now cannot unfortunately turn it around all that much because unfortunately my mouse is not having good scroll wheel. But holy damn, apparently there is luckily a way out, therefore there's gonna have to be a way in as well. It seems like that here, at the bottom side. So it almost seemed like this is gonna be completely locked off for him. But luckily it's right now gonna be seeing confirmation that's not exactly the case. And he can be still going for the hunt, as yeah, he's gonna be coming all the way around. Wants to be apparently coming here. And yeah, that is exactly the way in. That is the way in, which is then quite a solid actually hiding place. Looking how it's positioned right next to plenty of gold mines. You can see 4 gold mines in here, in this little part of the map. And considering that it's right next, this enclosure is really too funny. Too funny and too awesome, to be honest. As we're gonna be waiting for elninio. What he's gonna be doing with the situation, he does have the gold behind his base as an Egyptian. And it's gonna be certainly helping him quite significantly. He's already working on a bit of walling to the top. And well, the front TC doesn't seem to be all that far away either. The problem for him could be that the second TC is kind of frontish as well. But yet again, we are on hybrid and we are not gonna be having any kind of TCs in the classical age, so it doesn't have to be all that much of a problem for him. He's gonna be facing against Poseidon, AltairAuditore. And you can see he's having another very nice spawn of the map where he's gonna be kind of blocked by the berries. He will have to work on them with the villages so that the gold gathering is gonna be slightly more efficient for him. Yeah, this is actually kind of a good example. Good example of what you are gonna be expecting with the original maps and what plenty of players have forgotten about when they complain about the Wobbly Balance patch maps. But anyway, let this be a reminder what they want, if they want these maps or if they want the other maps that have been kind of improved to be not susceptible to these kinds of spawns. It's definitely gonna be changing the gameplay a bit, but it's gonna be making it a bit more comfortable for the players, so they really need to be knowing what they wish for if they want to be getting rid of certain maps and certain features on them. Otherwise, there was apparently plenty of gold mines still available for him, for Altair and for Ahild as well, as he does have right now even the zebras to the top side, as he finished with a few gazelles to the right, so it seems like he's having decent amount of food. But as he discovered some giraffes somewhere, I don't necessarily think so, just a double of lions. Some giraffes on the left side with a relic for extra food per second, and we are also gonna be seeing a few berries, but otherwise this is really a ton of gold here, like all around, between them and Risom, who is gonna be kinda in the corner, but look at all of this gold. This is really kinda awesome, but they will have to really walk in the middle quite a bit, because otherwise that will be a way how to get raided by the opponents, or maybe they could be also raiding their opponents themselves. It's really gonna depend how they're gonna be approaching it. Again, right now I'll see that MyIsisBestGod is gonna be already advancing through Prometheus. That's gonna be fairly prompt at about like 410, 4.5, definitely not bad, as there's gonna be another relic to the back with 20% built-in pierce armor all around, and it's gonna be certainly helpful, especially for the Egyptians or maybe even for the Atlantean, because they usually do have a decent amount of resources to be able to upgrade the towers if they need to. Pretty much the same advance for Risom and MyIsisBestGod, so it's gonna be quite a solid matchup on the left with double counter barracks coming for Risom, whereas his opponent is coming for pretty much the same. So they are gonna be having absolutely the same strategy. Of course, for MyIsisBestGod, he does have a bit of a challenging goal, but considering he's an Atlantean, probably doesn't matter all that much. And holy damn, look at that relic for elninio. Well, since we are on vanilla, it's basically vanilla. On hybrid, it's not gonna be that much of an advantage in the early game, but still quite a solid one. As caravan cost and speed, that's definitely huge, as you can be expecting that this game might be taking a bit longer on a map like this, and the civilizations that we are having here like this as well. This relic we have seen, no we haven't. It's gonna be +2 scout unit LOS. So that's pretty much it. There's gonna be one safe TC to the bottom with a few monkeys and even a few gazelles, so that's gonna be quite a valid source of food at the back, with another gold mine here and another there. So I'm so far liking the maps quite solidly and quite a bit. This one is the only funny thing, as he's gonna be apparently even luring the giraffe. I'm just gonna be waiting what's gonna happen with this. If he's gonna be killing it there and going all the way around all the time. I mean, like, is there a way through? I don't think so. It's probably only the way here on the left, which is like a huge luck at this point for elninio, that he wasn't screwed up altogether. I'm gonna be right now watching that quite soon, and then, well, he will definitely have to wall in the middle as well, so that he is a bit more safe. But so far, he's gonna be carrying a relic home. That's gonna be for the caravan cost and speed, because it is quite important. And yeah, somebody wasn't paying attention. He will have to rebuild right about now his granary, because right about now, this wouldn't be great at all, and he's even gonna be switching the villages over. Probably into into goatees. It's a possibility, maybe he's even moving on the gold. In which case, of course, this is quite a waste of resources. That's gonna be quite plenty of meat going bad in there, as the Turmas are being sent all across the map from Risom into MyIsisBestGod's base with Gabos as well. Rather, I'm turned around, of course. I'm the whole time turned around, because I'm having new names here, and I don't see the text with all of them, so sorry about that, really sorry. As of course right now MyIsisBestGod is gonna be playing with Risom, and they're gonna be playing against Gabo, so that's gonna be like a double Atlantean against him. Let's right now turn it around and know what we are talking about here, and of course that's gonna be heading into a bit of a difficult situation, especially considering the fact that he wants to be going for Centaur raiding. You can see 4 villages praying in here. That's quite a bit, usually 3 are enough. But he's going for 4, going for stable, but he at least does have the watchtower, so that might be quite enough for him at this point. Well, unfortunately it seems like adjacent is going to be 100 food and 50 gold gone just like that. As well, in the pocket it's going to be elninio still kind of booming, and maybe even heading into the heroic age. Definitely seems to be at least preparing for that with the armory to the top and double monument so far. So it's going to be having at least a bit of favor. And to the top side, it's going to be right now AltairAuditore just going for a bit of scouting into Ahud's base, who is going to be coming for a heroic age himself, as he's an ISIS. And kind of later, about 8 minutes, definitely could be advancing a bit faster, but it still shouldn't be really that bad. And this game is going to be all about if elninio can be unleashing his inner Zodiac in that killer and defeat all the opponents just by himself, because the start is probably gonna be quite rough, especially the double true bottom is gonna be very rough on Gabo, as he cannot really expect all that much help from elninio. You can see he's not absolutely ready at all, as he was apparently getting the giraffes here in the middle. But in the meantime, he's having only 1 barracks, and that is certainly not enough for any kind of army, as he's gonna be just now advancing, which is already kinda later. Therefore, I'm liking it a whole lot more from Ahud, who is gonna be a whole lot faster advancing. You can see apparently not exactly all that much of an empowerment going on here. And we're just gonna be waiting if he's gonna be switching to the front TC, or if it's gonna be a back one. But first, it definitely is going to be a Migdol, and I would be expecting, I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped it here, because he does have quite a solid goal, not really too far away, and would be certainly helpful, and reasonably safe as well, as there's gonna be a bit of radium from AltairAuditore on him. In the meantime, of course, right now Gabo is gonna be still receiving quite a lot of problems in the form of all the Turmas, not only from Risom, but especially from MyIsisBestGod. Can you see right now the difference in numbers here? 19 Turmas, and Risom is having about 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, he's kind of having the similar number. But of course the advantage is going to be certainly there for Blue, because he's right next to the opponent, and that is going to be inevitably resulting into many more units into the fight so far. What I certainly really don't like all that much is that elninio is not all that active. Right now just sending a few more monkeys and animals to the left side can potentially help with the ancestors as well as the front TC. It's a bit of a surprise, but it kind of makes sense, because right now he's taking advantage of the ceasefire already being cast, and therefore he's just making sure that he can get as much advantage as possible, and he of course cannot build a Migdol during the ceasefire, so it's gonna be Migdol probably dropped about here as soon as the ceasefire is gonna be gone. So well played, and let's see if Altair is gonna be able to stop him. To be honest, don't expect it all that much with the TC already standing. Well played by Ahud, definitely well prepared, and exactly what we expected is going to happen, as Snakies are gonna be in the middle of the Turmas, and he doesn't have all that many heroes. Pretty much I see only 2 in there. And therefore, the Snakies are probably gonna be enough, especially with the tower right about now, shooting on the opponents as well. With Altair or Arrows of Alfar, not AltairAuditore, it's gonna be from MyIsisBestGod. Important relic, especially important that his opponent is not going to be getting it. We're gonna be right now waiting for the Migdol inside Gabo's base, definitely well played by elninio, and finally he's gonna be joining with his teammate in the hard double, and that should be really helping him quite a bit, because the situation so far wasn't exactly going all that well, but right now with the Egyptian right at his back, that should be probably helping him quite a bit, and they don't need to be walling here to the top, because they need to be preventing all this basically free raiding. Need to protect all the gold mines, because they are gonna be supremely important for them, and for the whole team as well. Bit of a wall in the middle is always gonna be going a long way as well, as the Migdol has finished to the top side, and unfortunately AltairAuditore is right now gonna be forced to retreat from this position and hope that he can resurrect himself a bit later, somewhere in the future. Okay, so Hippolyta with Zeus kinda getting prepared, but elephants are getting prepared as well. So far it's only 1, but he doesn't have all that much of food here at this stage. But Green, well, crocodiles are gonna be just having a bit of a visit. Some kind of inspection into the base, and probably dying fairly promptly to this tower on the left. You're gonna be right now going back into the bottom where Risom is still continuing fighting this time against Gabo and elninio joined. But where is exactly Blue? Is he in the raiding or is he a bit passive? It almost seems like that he actually went for a bit of a defense against all the centaurs of Gabo. So yeah, that's exactly right now what's going on with MyIsisBestGod already going through Thea into the next age and even getting some, well, wild catapulties into the mix here, which I don't think is exactly what he needed to match or not too much. And might be some kind of misclick, but still, any kind of unit is gonna be helpful, especially in the situation that they are so far in. Of course, right now, elninio, aka Zodiac, will have to prepare for some kind of counter-offensive, because they need to be forcing their opponents into a defensive, as it really seems that to the top, Ahiot is gonna be having assault against AltairAuditore fairly promptly, and he probably is not going to be receiving any kind of assistance from elninio at all, as elninio is really fully engaged at the bottom, and you cannot really blame him, because the situation down there is certainly not exactly going all that well. As right now, Altair is gonna be going for a ceasefire, and he could have attempted to drop it in between. He definitely could have. Because this was certainly looking like a situation where he would be wanting to cast it. So basically having it click as it was done in the old school. When you see a situation where the ISIS could be coming for that, and this definitely was that, you click the ceasefire in, and basically wait for the opponent to cast it, and try to be as fast as possible. Usually you should be able to click it in, if you are exactly waiting like that. Because it takes a bit to basically click twice in there on the map and until you got powers and stuff like that. So you should be able to manage it, but it does take a bit of a training. So maybe if he wasn't used to it, it just didn't exactly feel like that it's gonna be working for him. But still, he's gonna be right now facing it a minute later, and he has to hope that he's gonna be having enough army, and it also gives a bit of an opportunity for Risom to be going for some scouting, and for MyIsisBestGod to get a front TC, back TC, and he's gonna be at 3. Quite dangerous indeed as he go. Oh, ho, ho. Here we go, a bit too late for the TC to be right now destroyed, but it's still probably gonna be getting destroyed, but it's not entirely ensured. Because right now Hippigons are already at medium, which is definitely important upgrade against Heroic Age Egyptians. Against kind of like fast Heroic Age Egyptians. As we are in Heroic Age for Risom as well. So there's gonna be plenty of players, and only Gabo is gonna be still sticking to his age, but yeah, well, it's kinda understandable because he was under the double, and that definitely does set you back, as he's even attempting quite solid raid-in. Destroyed apparently a hero. That seemed like a hero citizen. Seemed like there was a bit of a glow around him when he died, but all those hero Turmas coming after them, they're probably gonna be catching with them sooner rather than later. But still, they do have quite a solid opportunity to use their special attack just like that. Very well played, excellently done, and he's maybe gonna be killing even the second one. Actually, quite nice micro-raid bat now by Gabo. Yes, it isn't dead, and right now they will be escaping. He lost 3 centaurs, but he of course destroyed 2 citizens from the opponents. So it's kinda like so-so, considering what kind of army he was against. Oh, look at all those siege towers here. It's probably gonna be resulting into ancestors to the bottom as well, and therefore a solid assault that we have been already waiting for from Pandora Box. So let's see if it's gonna be working. Gonna be quickly checking to the top before we're gonna be going back down, as the TC is gone to the top side, but apparently, at least AltairAuditore has been able to defend against this strong attack, and he's gonna be buying himself a bit of extra time. And since he is in the Heroic Age, and he did already cast the curse to help himself with the battle here, he is, well, gonna be able to survive for a bit longer, though to be completely honest, I don't expect it's gonna be really that long lasting. This TC though should be certainly falling, because just the sheer number of siege towers right now being available here. Yeah, TC is gonna be gone just like that, gonna be of course helpful against the Archive and the Turmas on top of this, so this is definitely quite a solid push for Pandora Box, and they will be also continuing still with raiding. Now Risom is going to be finishing with the second and a third TC at the same time as well, and he's coming back from all the raiding into the back of the enemy bases. But they should be certainly doing it, should have done a whole lot before, was definitely finishing with the wall in, because they really need to be preventing this kind of like distraction raiding that the opponents are doing all the time. They just really need to be doing that as soon as possible, as it's not exactly something that will be making their game a whole lot easier. As it really seems like that at this point elninio is doing quite well with Gabo to the bottom, and he should be probably preparing to potentially help to the top a bit. I was looking at the blob, unfortunately only villages, but they are at least close by, and he should be at least attempting to drop a few barracks. I don't know, maybe even a Migdol if he has resources for that, because I mean, like, the battle here is quite equal between AltairAuditore and Hugh. As far as the ratings goes, it's pretty much an equal fight, and quite similar level for both of these players, as even Piggies are gonna be having a bit of a fight in the middle. But much more importantly, this is really Egyptian and the ISIS on hybrid and basically on vanilla. is really strong, and the Poseidon, even though he's quite good, he might be facing a few challenges. If you don't get some timings right, it can be really becoming quite difficult indeed. Centaur still radiant around, even apparently some lions have fell, or rather have fallen prey to some random villages in there, but in the meantime elninio with Gabo are still pushing forward, and it's especially elninio's towers that are keeping this alive, and for pretty good reason, because obviously you don't see all that much infantry here from either Risom or MyIsisBestGod, and therefore those camels with the towers are gonna be able to deal with all the shooting units that are so far coming for them. Alright, this is not exactly battle that CISE can be actually winning, so PXX should be right now coming for the TC as well, and that somebody should be definitely elninio, because he's so far at only one, but as an Egyptian he should be really heading for that. It's kinda weird, he's not attempting to do it. He does have villages somewhere close by or not, apparently not so much. Oh well, he's having about like 4 here. Should be definitely attempting it, as he's already starting the trade there, but he also does have the relic for 25% more gold basically from the trade, and gonna be making his game a whole lot easier. But how they are right now, not well, I wouldn't say exactly winning. They're definitely not losing, they are pushing, but winning is a bit of a strong word for this. At the top, they're certainly having quite a significant issue. You can see that buildings are getting lost and destroyed for AltairAuditore, so he's kinda slowly but inevitably losing ground and kinda also losing the battle here. And that's kinda what I said a bit earlier, that certainly some kind of assistance from elninio should be already established, and I'm just hoping that they are properly communicating with each other and really knowing what's going on the other side of the map, because this is looking quite dire for AltairAuditore, and Ahiut is definitely having the upper hand here. Heroic Gauge for Gabo, that's gonna be the last player. As you can see, even copper weapons for all the shooting units, definitely gonna be helpful. As for the opponent, well, so far we don't see all that much of an army, as he has unfortunately lost all the military buildings, like almost all, and he's gonna be too slow right now in recuperating those losses, and therefore he's gonna be under attack, and only apparently Atalanta with a few villages are gonna be helping defend against that. But at least this siege tower is gone, but elninio unfortunately is still not helping, even though he's going at least for the 2nd and 3rd TC, and still continue with at least a few giraffes there still, as the villages are moving ahead and probably right now going to be assisting, but seems like it might be just a bit too late, as to the bottom Gabo and elninio are going to be pushed back, as MyIsisBestGod with Risom are getting back into the game and into the battle, and definitely doing a good job at that, and even seems like reclaiming the front TC for Gabo. Gabo is right now gonna be gathering plenty of favor, so it almost seems like he might be preparing himself for some kind of spam of probably Colossi if he can get into the Mythical Age. So does he have the resources for that? That is quite a significant question here. 900. Can see Ahiut is having quite good resources as well, and gold. The gold is a problem for Gabo, not for Ahiut. So I'm thinking that Ahiut could be advancing to Mythic sometime soon. Oh yeah, can see just clicked in thought. As to the bottom, well, the battle is gonna be just becoming even more untenable for them. No second hand and black duel. Well, that's how the original map spawned. There is a gold at the bottom. It's something that you could be going for. Gold to the top side as well. You could have gotten 4 as well. Rather gotten, and maybe he talked about this gold getting blocked, but that's definitely not a problem at the start. He was able to get through that quite fine, and unfortunately right now he's gonna be though losing the ground here and losing the base TC, which is gonna be putting him only at 1 at the back. And even though he's gonna be receiving some kind of assistance from elninio, yet again the situation is that this might be just a bit too late. The ground is already lost, and much more importantly, they are starting to lose ground at the bottom as well. And I'm not entirely certain that Gabo will be allowed to be getting into the Mythical Age and becoming the beast that the Zeus in there can be. No, that's not mod. That's how the original map spawned. That's how it is. And that's why we are playing this, because as a difference to the standard AoT clanic that's gonna be following after, you just want to be having a bit different gameplay, and it basically requires you to be quite a bit more plain to the map. So GG, this is gonna be right now resulting into CISE taking the first game, and they're gonna be just 1 game away from potentially claiming the victory and advancing into round number 3. And to be honest, while this is slightly annoying having the berries around the gold, at the very start it really isn't much of a drag, because especially as a Greek you are having like 3 villages in there and then a few more, but at the time you should be already getting, or rather gathering away the berries if you adjust your build order and you don't just go for a straight hunt, and you just basically can play around it, and it's not much of a drag in the end, especially with how it was. You could have seen he was easily able to get into the gold mine from the top. So that certainly wasn't why the game was lost. The game was lost because CISE kind of played it correctly, but there was quite a dangerous push by elninio and Gabo in the middle. That was really well played, especially by elninio, but unfortunately, the team play by CISE was a bit stronger. So let's go out into the post game and watch what's going to happen here and what we are going to be noticing. So AltairAuditore is going to be at 3,772. And it's going to be the highest score for him. Well, he was having the best battle in there. But I really kind of have to say that the bottom battle was quite interesting. First the push by MyIsisBestGod with Risom, and then the pushback by elninio and Gabo. Quite interesting waves there. Well, the last one belonged to CISE Elite. Now AltairAuditore, yeah, he played the ISIS quite well indeed, and ISIS is certainly quite dangerous on the vanilla. She certainly is. You can see quite nice military count for Risom. 144, that's actually quite a lot more than everybody else. Ton of turmas, because that was mostly the units that he was making. And those heroic ages, while fast, they can be definitely done a bit faster, though this was a bit interesting Oasis, and Oasis can be kind of tricky on finding all the Han. So it can happen that you don't find everything on the first attempt, and it kind of slows you down ever so slightly. Quite good raiding by Gabo that we have seen there. He has destroyed quite a few citizens, especially of MyIsis. So the effectivity was there for that. But maybe he needed to catch a few more to be properly effective there. You can see Altair just losing plenty of villages here. That was the battle right next to the TC. As he was trying to get rid of all the siege towers. And, well, to be honest, even at that point it already wasn't going all that well. You can see how running away AltairAuditore was with all the economy. And they just couldn't end in any kind of good way. It really cannot for the one who is playing against them. But he was doing what he can. You can see he was able to get up on some solid amount of units. But at that point, just couldn't really maintain it for a longer time, as he was losing military buildings and he just wasn't receiving enough assistance in time. So GG.